This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY Digital Voice Net on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and live stream to Google Meet and YouTube. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital Voice Net is to foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly Sundays at 7 p.m. For more information about this net, please visit stnydmr.net. This net will prioritize short-time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power stations. We currently do have 5 other stations checked in through NetLoggers. The net would like to recognize K3BYC Carlton, N3DQD Ray, N3OJP Mick, N2BSS Jeff, and N2NRA Cliff. Right, actually, one more station there. The net would like to also recognize N2QFD Mel. All right, when checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's first take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's open it up for any and all stations that would like to check into the STY Digital Voice Net this evening. Please call now.
Hey, good evening, Frank. This is NE2WN in Binghamton, New York. This is Kilo Charlie 3 Whiskey Victor X-Ray, Scott from Sarah, PA.
All right, and we have NE2W Ed and KC3 Whiskey Victor X-Ray Scott. Were there any other stations that joined this evening? Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so we'll kick things off here. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. All right, no announcements. We'll move in for questions. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now. This is N2QSP with a question for the net. Yeah, N2QFE, Mel, fire away with your question there. Thank you, Frank. For the net tonight, if if anybody has a particular traffic net that they'd like to monitor or follow or be a part of, I'm looking to collect a couple of traffic nets that I can help suggest some of my Aries team tune into to give them more opportunities to copy messages. So if you've got anything in mind, probably HF stuff at this point. I don't think many of us can reach out much past our local region on VHF. So any traffic nets that you like. Thanks. Back to net control. Yeah, absolutely there, Mel. I'll make that an addition to the net topic this evening. So anybody out there with traffic net. So all right. Any other questions for the net this evening? Please call now. All right, no other questions, so we will move in for comments there. The next topic this evening is: do you remember a particular field trip when you were in school that stuck with you? And as Mal just mentioned, also if you have any traffic nets, particularly on HF, please let us know. So, all right, top of my list is K3BYC. Carlton, how was your week?
This is K3BYC, Carlton in Darlington, Maryland. Good evening, Frank. Thanks for taking the net. And good evening to everyone who checked in. Well, like everyone else, I'm still enjoying this beautiful weather. And the switch over to standard time, it's okay. I hate it getting darker early, but it's all right. The temperatures are still getting up in the mid 60s. I think we've got a couple days where it's going to go upper 60s. So it's pretty good there. Net topic, school field trips. Well, I probably the best trip I probably took, and being a retired school band director, I remember this really good as a student. My high school band, I guess in 1965, I was ninth, 10th grade. We took a trip, spent 3 days up at the New York World's Fair. We did a fundraiser, paid for a hotel, and everything. And even though it did rain quite a bit during that, we were just awed by all the displays and everything. And we had plenty of downtime for performances to where we can enjoy a lot of the exhibits there. So that was the biggest. That was the biggie for me. Uh, Now on Mal's question about traffic nets, Baltimore has a daily traffic net at 6:30 p.m. local time. It's 2 meters. You guys can't reach it, but they do have Echo Link, and they do run a very nice traffic net there. I'm not real great on radiograms. I don't do that myself. We do ICS 213 forms for races here. You'll have to look it up there. Just, I guess, Google the Baltimore traffic net and look that up. I know the frequency for the repeater that they use is 146.7. I'm sorry, 146.670 with a tone of 107.2. Or so you won't get that. But they've, oh, you know what? Look that up. They've got Echolink on a backup repeater. I'm not real positive that that one has it. But look it up. It's the W3FT repeater. Just Google that and see what you can find. They do run a nice net though, if you're interested in the traffic system. That's all I have for now. Everybody have a great week. This is K3BYC. Back to net control.
Hey, very good there, Carlton. And yeah, that sounds like a good field trip. Definitely going out to the World's Fair for 3 days. I don't remember any field trips when I was younger there of going out that long. So definitely hope it's a good experience for you there and everything. So and yep, I did jot that down. And wow, I was thinking mid 60s too. Man, I'd love to have some mid 60s in this area. It's already getting pretty chilly. Already broke out. Didn't bring out the winter coat yet, but I do have a hoodie. From going outside sometimes. It's especially in the mornings and the evenings. It's getting pretty cold up here. So, all right. Let's move our way down to N3DQD. Ray, how was your week?
Yeah, W2FJH in the net N3DQD. We had a pretty good week here. Nothing terribly exciting. Although this evening we had a building evacuation. There was one of the apartments had something that set off the fire alarm, so we all had to evacuate for about a half hour or so. But that's all has passed, and they got the fans in here and got the smoke out, so we're all good. As far as field trips are concerned, when I was in school, we had two that really stuck in my mind. The first one, we went to the Allegheny County Airport, not Greater Pitt, but Allegheny County, and they had a DC-3 there that was outfitted for Coppers Company executives. So it was almost like a living room with swivel rockers and everything. It was kind of neat. And they had a Learjet there. I really was taken with those things. And the other one, when I was in high school, we visited the Western Penitentiary and actually got to go into the cell block and in the prison yard, right among the prisoners. So that was a true experience. Back to that. This is N3DQD.
Hey, thanks there, Rain. Glad there was no serious things going on with the apartment building there, and it was just a small thing, and they were able to get it out real quick there. But yeah, definitely a building evacuation. That's a little scary there, but yeah, also those field trips, yeah, they sound like a fun time there, and they do have a. I'm not sure if it's still open. I know that they have the old prison like down here in Owego. They used to have it as a restaurant where you actually would sit, and they still have the old like bar cells and everything still up. So it was an interesting time there. I'm not sure what the building turned into now. It's been a while since we went there, but yeah, very good there. All right, moving on down the list to N3OJP. Mick, how was your week?
Oh, good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net. Oh, busy as usual. Before I get to that, as far as field trips, I think everybody in eighth grade went to Washington D.C. for a couple of days, and I really don't remember much. Of course, it was a bus ride. I think we stayed there a day or two, if I remember. So I think that was eighth grade. Oh, let's see. Um, I've got a list here of traffic nets. I just took a picture of it, and I wanted to post it on 7.3, but it's not allowing me to do it. I'll have to use my computer. Anyway, pretty good week. I was fishing last Sunday. By the time I got, then I had to meet my daughter in Mayville. There's a new restaurant that opened up, so I completely missed the net. But on Monday, my daughter, her husband, and Caleb, our grandson, who's 10, we went to see the Pittsburgh Penguins and St. Louis game downtown at PPG. And I don't know if you caught the news or not, but there was somebody that fell out of the stands. And he was in the same section where my daughter was at. And it was right when the Penguins scored, but she caught out of her eye this guy. Instead of coming down the steps, he was stepping over the chairs. And he lost his balance, kept going and actually flipped right over the railing. And I guess he landed on somebody down below, then flipped over again and went down to the next concourse. He survived. Obviously banged up in the hospital. But what had happened was somebody was there. They had to obviously evacuate some of the rows. So this lady asked my daughter if they wanted to sit behind the Penguins bench for the rest of the game, just a couple of rows back. So of course they agreed to do it. And then here's the best part. When the game was over, you know, they always do the 3 stars. Well, this lady took my grandson, my daughter's son, and put him right by the aisle where the players come in and out to the locker room. So they announced the first star, and the guy goes out, makes his turnaround, and comes back. The fans are cheering. Well, the next star was Sidney Crosby. So Sid comes out, he skates, like he always does. When he comes back in to go to the locker room, he hands his hockey stick to my grandson. Talk about a moment. Of course, I got it on video. So my 10-year-old grandson has an autographed Sidney Crosby hockey stick. Now, how many of them are out there? So, yeah, he was pretty excited. In fact, when they were interviewing Sid afterwards, he achieved another milestone. And they had my grandson, who was all smiles, up on the jumbotron. They put the camera on him, so it was pretty exciting. I haven't seen the stick yet. My daughter's out in San Francisco. She had to go out there for a wedding. And we're taking care of our grandson, but unfortunately he's been sick this week, so we've had him full time here, so I haven't done too much else. But yeah, that was a big excitement. So I'll get this NTS traffic net posted here, and I'll put it up on 7.3 under the comments. Frank, back to you. W2FJH and 30JP.
Hey, very good there, Mick. And yeah, that sounds like they had an amazing time at the game there. Too bad about the person climbing over the chairs and everything. But yeah, it sounds like it definitely ended with a big bang there. That he got the hockey stick and everything. So that's really cool. That's very awesome. All right, and yeah, definitely let me know if you have any problems sending that. You can always just email it to me too, and if there is a problem with 7.3 trying to upload it, I'll make sure it gets up there and gets over to Mal. So thanks a lot there, Mick. All right, this is W2OJH with the STNY Digital Voice App. Before I get to my next station, let me take a quick standby to see if there's any additional stations out there that would like to join this evening. Please call now. And to RWH. All right, and we have N2RWH Ed. All right, moving on down the list to N2BSS. Jeff, how was your week?
Yeah, good evening, Frank, and the net W2FJH and 2BSS. At the present time, I've got baked beans, or fresh homemade baked beans, in cans, or I should say in jars, in the pressure canner. We're waiting to be preserved here. So my wife made them. Oh, between yesterday and today, they were slow cooked overnight, and now they're going into the canning machine. And I'm just sitting here keeping an eye on the pressure gauge, waiting for it to get up to 10 psi. Of course, if you hear a loud boom, then realize it went up probably 100 psi. Anyway, yeah, we won't do that. Anyhow, interesting week that we had here. Of course, I'm still here in the southern tier. We're getting ready to close the unit up, packing a lot of stuff up to go back to Pennsylvania tomorrow morning. Then I'll be back for next weekend to do the final close up, turn the water off for the season, and wave goodbye and go from being here almost all the time to just coming up on occasional odd weekend to check up on things as we get through the winter time. So yeah, the return to standard time means it's time to shut the camper down. Let me grab a nickel here. Yeah, I think everything's cycled through. Yeah, I took the HF station down today, got that packed up, ready to go back to the house in Pennsylvania. But yeah, I might not have to do this back and forth thing much longer. Yeah, looking at getting out of the rat race and changing W work for our retirement, and we'll just simply put a permanent structure on this property instead of just having a camper here. And then I don't have to worry about going back and forth anymore. So that's next year. So yeah, I'm getting old. You know, wanting me to think back to school field trips, and we went on many field trips, many interesting places that I remember. But the field trip that unfortunately stands out was one to the Statue of Liberty, because there were some mean kids in our group who decided to incite a panic as we were inside the statue going up the arm. And there's one child who was very overweight, and they were making fun of him, saying, "You can't go up there; you'll make the arm fall off." Well, unfortunately, that made the poor kid panic up on the staircase. And if you have ever been on that staircase in the Statue of Liberty, it's very narrow and winding, and it just created chaos. Mean, rotten kids. What could I say? And they were in my class, so that makes it even more interesting. So that's the unfortunate reason that field trip stands out. But anyway, yeah, we went to many, went to many, but that was the interesting one. Of course, we never went to the Empire State Building. Kind of wish we did. Oh well, that's about it from here. Back to net, W2FJH and to BSS.
Hey, very good there, Jeff. And yeah, you're always talking about some of these things that you're slow cooking and everything. And man, usually I have dinner with the wife afterwards, and sometimes you make me hungry there. That's what things you've been cooking there and everything. So, and yeah, a few bad apples always spoil the bunch, right? A couple mean kids and can make a unpleasant experience for that. Um, but yeah, if it wasn't for that, then that field trip would have been an outstanding field trip to go on to see the Statue of Liberty. So, all right, moving on down the list to N2NRA. Cliff, how was your week?
This has been STNY Cliff in Waverly. Oh, we did a trip down to Annapolis. Left Thursday and it was raining out and it's nasty. It didn't clear up until we got down by Harrisburg. And the reason we went down was to see the tall ships in Chestertown, Maryland. And while I was there, I guess my brother and his wife had a cold, so I brought back a cold. And the weather was nice down there; it was in the 60s. And field trip. When I was in school, we have had a trip up to Cooperstown, the Farmers Museum and Art Museum as well there, I guess. And uh, so I do listen in to the U.S. East North Beams net, and sometimes the Northern New York digital net as well. So with that, we'll send it back to net control.
Hey, thanks there, Cliff. And yeah, sounds like you had a good time too there. And yeah, sometimes going out and all this, and yeah, the colds are always they always come at the most inconvenient times, don't they? But hopefully you get over that pretty quickly there and back to feeling good again. So all right, moving on down the list to N2QFD. Mal, how was your week?
This is N2QFD. Good evening again, Frank, into the net. And thank you for everyone so far with the suggestions on traffic nets. Ed and I have been chatting a little in the almost instant messenger as well. And the week was fast, busy and fast. I work in civil engineering, drafting plans for natural gas distribution systems, and the asphalt plants are closing. So this is the big shebang for us. We got to get it together and get everything wrapped up for another season. So been busy. The the traffic net question, much like Carlton, most of our guys are copying ICS type forms and versus the radiogram. either way, I was just looking for some nets that were still a little busy, let's say. I tune into several New York State nets, Morse code and voice, and while we have good check-ins, we don't really have the traffic that would make it. I want to make sure it's worth their while if they take the time. So just building a hot sheet for our guys to go get some extra practice copying traffic is the objective there. Let me take a break. All right, field trips. This has been a pretty good topic. The I'm lucky. Our folks took us lots of interesting places. In school, we went to quite a few. The staircase in the Statue of Liberty I had forgotten about until it was mentioned. It's like something out of Harry Potter. Uh, One that does stick out that really stuck with me. I was in art history classes in high school, and our art history group palled up with several others in the region and saved our nickels. And we went to England to go see some of that art. And you don't appreciate at least how it was, I suppose. Our school textbooks often had small and very often black and white images of these art objects that well, let's say Monet's water lilies, uh, they're huge. They cover walls, and like you just never get to see the colors unless you're there. Uh, I do remember it was my first real experience with jet lag, not appreciating the idea that we would leave New York in the evening, arrive in the United Kingdom in dawn, and then have to figure out what we were going to do until the afternoon when we could sit in our hotel rooms. So I do have a hazy memory of getting asked to leave the National Gallery by a docent after falling asleep on a bench in there. So uh, I suppose we'll turn that with that we'll turn that back to net control. And thanks again for all the net suggestions that are coming in. This is N2QFD.
Hey, thanks, there, Mal. And yeah, wow, that's definitely a nice field trip. I think that's the first international field trip that we heard about on the net this evening. So yeah, that's definitely a big one there. So but yeah, very good there. All right, let's move on down to NE2W. Ed, how was your week?
Hey, good evening, Frank, and everybody on the net. This was an amazing week in a way. I think it was back in May, our van died, and we were looking for a vehicle, and a little shocked by the prices and what was out there. A lot of 4-year-old cars with lots of miles on them. Didn't know if we'd find anything, but XYL, we got out on Tuesday and took a look at some used vehicles over across the border there in Pennsylvania. And after looking at how many cars online, this one sort of stuck out. It was not too old and a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but it was low mileage. The thing's only a year old and it's like new. So at a used car price. So I'm like, cha-ching, that works. And we got it, and the dealer, the salesman, and then the finance guy who had to deal with the paperwork and the plates. This was on Friday. We test drove it on Tuesday, hemmed and hawed, and went back on Friday and got it. Uh, they didn't know, they never saw amateur radio call sign license plates like that. So we had a nice discussion about what's ham radio, and it carried over into that our club meets once a month up at Copernic. And up there, it's not just ham radio. They've got some of the best telescopes in the Northeast and have viewing open to the public on Friday. So it ended up being a nice discussion and a good experience and a relief. We finally got the car solved before the weather hits. When we catch a break, Now, the topic, school trips, I couldn't think of any. It's been a long time. I'm retired and that goes way back. But after all the discussion, yeah, I've been to some of those places. But the one that stuck out in my mind, most memorable, was our class trip to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Uh, it was a trip mainly to see the chocolate factory, get behind the scenes, look how Hershey bars are made, conveyor belts, and like that, before heading out to Hershey Park, the theme park with the roller coasters. But once we got off the bus in Hershey, the town smells like chocolate, or at least it did back then. And the whole time we were there, you could smell it. And it was amazing to see how the Hershey bars were made. We got it right up close in the factory for all the different things that were going on, and then spent the afternoon with classmates riding the rides. And they have water rides, roller coasters, a really nice amusement park with all kinds of things you would expect. So between the smell, the rides, it gave me something to remember. So thanks for the topic. Back to you, Frank. This is NE2W. Oh, nets. I sent Mel some nets, and on our Southern Tier Digital Voice webpage at the top, there's a calendar/net that lists different calendars for different digital and analog nets, not particularly traffic nets. You'd have to go to the ARRL. The ARRL runs the National Traffic System, and they have those nets, and there's a publication they put out, I think, once a month, ARRL traffic handling thing. I'll try to find the link. Back to you, Frank, City 2W.
Hey, very good there, Ed. And yeah, definitely having I guess a new to you car there. Definitely for the winter, before the winter hits there, definitely a good thing. So glad you found a great deal on one of them. So and yeah, I haven't been down myself to the Hershey, PA, but we went down. We did go down to Knoebels this year, but I'm assuming in the coming years here, I will be migrating down there and making at least a family trip down there, and seeing all that down there as well as the park as you just mentioned. So and yeah, thanks again there, Ed. I just want to mention Ed has put together all of the calendars. If you go to stnydmr.net, there will be a link for calendars, and Ed has done an amazing job in putting not only just for some of the HF nets, but also he does list out Yaesu System Fusion nets. He does list out DMR nets. He's done an amazing job on all those calendars. So I just wanted to thank Ed again for doing them. So. All right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let me take another standby here to see if there's any additional stations you'd like to join this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard, so we will move on down to KC3 Whiskey Victor X-Ray. Scott, how was your week?
This is KC3WVX. Well, week wasn't too bad. Uh, had to. My daughters had some stuff in storage in the basement of our church. We got that moved to storage units. That was a couple-hour job. Other than that, it was just a normal work week. Except for we lost power Wednesday night for about 4.5 hours. But oh well. As far as trips, in school in the sixth grade, we took a trip to Philadelphia, saw the Independence Mall, Independence Hall, Liberty Bell, and all that stuff. Sometime in high school, we took a trip to Hershey Park. I remember that. Senior trip was to Virginia Beach and Busch Gardens, which was a lot of fun. I guess that's about all I got for that. This is KC3WVX back to net control.
Hey, thanks there, Scott. And yeah, I'm with you on some of that. Some weeks it's just like, well, I got through the work week. That's about all the exciting news for the week there. So, and yeah, it sounded like around here too. When you get out of the city a little bit there, it seems like we lived in Binghamton for numerous years and we never had a power outage. Sorry, I do want to correct that. We did have one power outage that lasted about 30 seconds. And then we moved out here and we're up in a wooded area and yeah, we're lucky. It seems like we don't have a power outage at least once every 3 months. So definitely a major shift there in how consistent the power is on. So but very good there, Scott. All right, moving on down the list to N2RWH. Ed, how was your week? And to RWH. Hi, Frank and everybody on the net. Not a bad week here. I guess we could get through our week and uh, can't complain. Looks like next week's going to be a few nice days, so looking forward to that. I guess I was thinking about my memorable maybe field trip. That was in middle school a little while ago. um, we had a fly tying class, and we did our flies, and then we got to take a trip to try them out and fly fish. So I guess that was my memorable trip in middle school. Other than that, I'll turn it back to you, Frank, and send to our WH. Hey, very good there, Ed. And yeah, I think that's also an interesting one. You actually went and took a field trip to go out fishing. A lot of people just do that on the weekends or something now, but that's actually pretty cool. So I haven't heard of too many people doing that kind of stuff, just outdoorsy type things and going out on a field trip for. So very good there, nice. So, all right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Set. I have reached the end of my list here. So let's see if there's any additional stations out there. Would you like to check in this evening? Please call now.
Whiskey to Mike X-ray.
All right, and we have Whiskey 2 Mike X-ray. It's coming up William on my screen, but I'm guessing that's Bill. So, just Bill, in case you didn't hear, we were talking, our net topic this evening was, do you remember a particular field trip when you were in school that stuck with you? So we will hand it over to you. How was your week?
Good evening, everybody. Bill here in Painted Post, New York, on DMR through my Skybridge hotspot. Good week, work week. Work tomorrow. Gonna have to get used to the clock change. I don't know why, but that always seems to have some kind of effect, even though it's only 1 hour. Just getting used to everything. Um, Field trip I remember as a kid, if you're going way, way back, I remember a long, long time ago in elementary school, which would have been in the 1970s, going to a trip on the Arcade and Attica Railroad in western New York, and that was pretty cool. That stuck with me, as I recall. Other than that, spent part of the week when I had some time exploring free DV on HF, which is digital mode on HF, and after working out some issues with my software and getting it to work with the radio, it's a very interesting mode, and I'm definitely enjoying it. There's a good community of users on that mode, and just kind of exploring that. So that's about it on the HF world. And 10 meters, by the way, was pretty good this morning, and seems like it's been good for a couple of days when I've had a chance to get up on 10. Everybody else, I hope everybody has a good week, and thanks for letting me check in here, Frank. Whiskey 2 Mike X-Ray.
Hey, no problem there, Bill. And yeah, you'll definitely have to let us know if FreeDB is also one that I haven't explored too much. So really let us know if there's any good nets or anything that stands out to you that you'd like to share. Also, just by the way, if you do make your way over to the TGIF network, we do also have a 7.3 channel, well, 7.3 talk group there. Honestly, it's probably a little bit underutilized, so feel free to kind of use it as would like. So I know the number for it there is yeah, it's 736. Oh, sorry. I'll have to get that back to you. I remember it spells out 7.3 net. It's for the 7.3 net site there, but yeah, not too many people use it. I think I kind of deemed it as kind of our backup talk group in case Brandmeister ever goes down. But yeah, just let me know how how that works out for you. So. All right. Once again, I reached the end of the list, so let's open it up this time for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with additional comments, questions, or concerns, or if there are any additional traffic nets that you'd like to pass over to Mal, please call now.
K3BYC.
Yeah, K3BYC Carlton, fire away there with your comments.
I have already posted this on the AIM window, and Mal has gotten it, but just for everyone's information, the Baltimore traffic net that I mentioned is also it's streamed on Broadcastify. I'm not sure they've got Echo Link, but it's definitely streamed on Broadcastify. And the way to look that up is just get on there, go to the state of Maryland, and then Baltimore County, and then it's probably down at the list of the very bottom of the streams for Baltimore County. And it's a 1,000 repeater, BARC, BARCH, Baltimore Amateur Radio Club, and that is a traffic net. I'm not saying they pass a lot of traffic every time, but it is a daily net. It is 6:30 p.m. And there are times where they will refer it to. They've got other divisions they refer to. I don't understand all that because I never got into that. And then they just take regular traffic with comments or without comments. But they do get some good radiogram. If you're looking to fill out a radiogram form and want to hear how they voice that, that's a good experience. So you got to kind of pick and choose and just keep listening till you get a good day where they are actually passing traffic on the air. But yeah, Broadcastify is probably the best choice on that. That's all I have. Thank you again, Frank, for taking the time. This is K3BYC. Back to that control.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, Carlton, for passing that along there. All right. All right. Any other stations to check in, or additional stations to check in, or any other comments, questions, or concerns from stations that have checked in, and again, or any additional traffic nets that you might have thought of during the net here for mail, please call now. All right, nothing heard there. And just one more quick comment for W2MX. Bill, I did look it up really quick. The TGI talk group, sorry, I was trying to stare at my radio and talk at the same time, and it just wasn't working out. I was trying to think and talk at the same time there. The talk group on TGIF is 73638. If you look at your radio, it will spell out 73 numerically NET, 73 NET is 73638. That's a talk group on TGIF. As I mentioned, not much activity going on there. It's almost like a private channel. If you wanted to talk on there and explore anybody else any other uses for it. It does sit idle quite a bit. So all right, I'll wrap things up here then. I'd like to thank Carlton, Ray, Mick, Jeff, Cliff, Mal, Ed, Scott, Ed, and Bill for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there. This is W2FGH, and I'll be listening.